So Corey, we're here at the Center for the Arts here at University of Buffalo, and we're so fortunate that the building was designed by Gwathmey Siegel. Charles Gwathmey was the lead architect for the project, and he was one of that cohort of architects from the 80s and 90s who designed buildings from the inside out. Used the room as his foundational block, and then the composition of those rooms really became the design of the building. I'm wondering what you think about that.
Yeah, I think the Atrium space is one of the signature spaces of the building. It divides basically the plan of the project into 2/3 and 1/3, where 2/3 of the space is all of theater and drama, where the fine arts is on the other side. I think the Atrium space not only has a major welcome into the building and then allowing us to pass through and out to a view of the lake, but does and accomplishes many things. Not only does it separate the two main components of the project, but it also draws those two departments together, as well as providing a major reception space and thoroughfare for the main theater space, as well as the opportunity to display art and hold social events as well.
And of course at the university, this was a pivotal building because it was the first postmodern building that we built on this campus, and it was our first break with the brutalist, the brown brick architecture that this campus is so well known for. So this was a signature building, not only for its location, for its function, but also for its aesthetic.
Yeah, and I think Gwathmey Siegel as well is pivotal in architectural history, building on many of the modernist traditions of minimal material palette, high quality lighting, minimal design features, focused very much on functionality and other elements like that, but at the same time that pivot toward postmodernist thinking, and also what might be described as certainly a much clearer approach to site design and the siting of the building on campus, as well as the function and performance of the space.
And you know, that's a really good point. Of course, this campus is all about circulation. Much of the circulation is man-made, hard surfaces, but this is the only protected surface that really celebrates, you know, the sequence, the experience of traveling through. So you're not exposed to the elements, but you have this wonderful opportunity to experience the outside, both up and, you know, north and south, and you can see your destination. And so I just love the fact that people use this not only during special events, but just breaks in between classes.
Rather than treating this as an enclosed corridor, it's a much wider and more generous space. It's a much more lofty space as well. The structure is exposed to us, and then obviously with the great view above and the lighting that comes in to make this a much more exciting space. One of the really nice times to be here, I think, is also during commencement weekend and when graduation ceremonies let out, and how graduates occupy the space and meet family and friends here, and how receptions are hosted, but then also how people travel out to the front for pictures in front of the building, as well as out by the lake.
So I'm also intrigued by is just the palette. It's white, white and gray, and I'm wondering what your thought was behind that idea.
Yeah, and I think you can again look at this from both the exterior of the building and the interior, that there's a minimal material palette on the outside, and the materials inside are of a very similar scale and module, which gives some quality where the interior and exterior, they have a certain degree of matching one another, but then on the interior, because of that more subdued minimal color quality, it allows then for artwork to be showcased in this space as well.
This is one of the, I think, the most wonderful walks on campus, which is walking through the atrium towards the lake. I think it's one of the best views we have on campus.
In some ways, I think of this in the traditions of the Paris arcades. It's an interior street, and you start at one end and you start at street level, and by the time you get out the back of the building, and you don't necessarily fully realize it until you get here, and then you realize you're a full 2 stories above grade with the view of the lake.
Right, and this has so much potential to really be a flagship moment for us on campus, because how this stair engages the lake, I think, is the next piece for us planning-wise to really create a wonderful signature space on campus.